when during the heart surgery, but they also have the innovative things when the things demand, like when you do it out of the books. So so thank you, Dr. Prashant here, and because he's here only for the few moments, and he's going heading back to Coimbatore. So you guys are very lucky to hear from him. so
Indeed.
Kshitej, I hand it over to you for
Right.
our next program, please. Go ahead.
And good evening to all of you so who have joined us. And I could see the amount of excitement in in all of you, those who have been waiting for this this meeting to be informed about the pilot training. And we have been advocating since a very long time that affordable flying and affordable flying training is everybody's right. And we here at Skylark Aviation, I myself, Capt.Kshiteej Savardekar from Skylark Aviation, strongly believe that like you, all of you are mostly are first generation aviators. So you don't have any uncle, aunt, father, or relatives in the aviation. So whatever you hear from very limited sources around you over the internet or anywhere else is where you get all this knowledge about what aviation is and how much aviation and whatever you see around is that much you know of aviation. But who would tell you that what is right and what is wrong and what you should be picking up and what you should be letting go, right? So we here are trying to help all of you in that way, and would try to justify in the next 1.5 hours that we have here with us, trying to justify how feasible aviation would be for you and how we can go ahead uh, with the aviation for new generation pilots here. So if all of you can see the screen here in front of you, I'm glad that Captain Sagar, who has joined us here. Captain Sagar is a first officer with Indigo. He is flying ATIs and a very dear friend to us. I have invited him, you know, to tell his experience as a pilot from his training days to the time of being a pilot now, and how it helped him to come over this career again, been having very limited source resources and even information, and now being a pilot in an airline, and the experience of flying a regional carrier called famously called as the ATR aircraft. So Sagar, Captain Sagar Unkande is here. I thank him for joining us. Okay, so we have admitted Captain Brishpal has joined us gladly that he could join us, and he would also be helping us know a lot of things here in aviation. He's the CEO of the flying club in the US that we have. Okay, just 1 minute, sir. All right. So if you see the screens in front of you, I would very briefly take you through how what aviation is and how you can go about how you should start and where you should start first. So first thing first, I'll just tell you the eligibility. The eligibility of a flying eligibility to start your career in flying is 10 plus 2 with maths and physics. And so if you have maths and physics, you could start your career right away, and you need 18 years of age to start with. Now, there are a lot of enthusiasts and aviation enthusiasts who have commerce as their, as their major subjects in their 10 plus 2 grades. So we have a good news for you, and no need to be disappointed that you did not have physics or maths. So what you could do for the commerce students is that you could uh, visit the NIOS. This is an open school platform of the government of India, where you could visit and apply for 10 plus 2 maths and physics, just the two subjects. And you could, give the exams and then qualify uh, to be a pilot. Now, the basic eligibility, as I told, is 18 years of age and 10 plus 2 maths and physics. So you could divide aviation in three parts. So before going to the nitty gritties of CPL training, let us understand that a job of a pilot is what basically. So, for the same reasons that you all have gathered here, and you all are, aviation enthusiasts and want to be a pilot someday. So if I can ask you, and if you could all write it down in the text box, that, let us have all your participation. That what excites you the most of being for being a pilot? What excites you the most? Yeah. Okay, great. So we have wonderful answers here. What else do we have? Captain Brishpal. Good evening, Captain. Glad you could join us. Captain Brishpal, glad you could join us.
Excuse me, sir. I have a doubt, sir.
Okay, all the doubts and questions can wait till the end of the meeting. We will try to, try to educate the people who are first-time aviators here, and we will take your questions. We will take all your questions, and we welcome all your questions. So just stand by for a minute, for the end of the session. Okay, coming back to what you have written. Okay, we have excellent, very interesting answers to travel abroad, the sky and the roar of the engines. Okay, Aditya Narayan writes roar of the engines. Uh, okay. Airport lights in the night, Rugved writes. Atish writes, takeoff views that we get to see, Yana Navargaonkar writes. Ghazal writes, pride of the uniform. Yeah, very much. The love and respect for that uniform and, of course, that profession. Correct, Humaira. Chaitanya writes, the view from the top of the earth and the sunrise sunsets. Beautiful. Salary and lifestyle, of course, Indranil Shetty writes. Yana again writes respect. Kshiteej Kamble writes uniform and the pride. Flying and responsibility, very important. Ritik writes design of flight, you know, joy of flying, views of the cockpit. Okay, excellent answers. Yeah, I mean, I can see all of you 100% are. I mean, I have no doubt that you are truly some very serious aviation enthusiasts and who are here only and only purely to know more about this career and how you could pursue and one day be a pilot yourself. So to start with, the job of a pilot, as you explained, the pride, the uniform, the salary, and all these things are a byproduct of the job that you have. I mean, for a pilot, he needs to have very high level of skills. He starts off, as I told you, the eligibility is just 10 plus 2. So he is starting off at a very, very young age. Okay, and that age he has to be groomed up to that high level of skill set, so that he would be responsible for the lives of 200, 300 people sitting behind him. So you understand that you are the sole responsible person who has the responsibility of 200 people sitting behind you. So that requires a special level of skills and a very high value and very high specialization. So to be a commercial pilot, one needs extensive knowledge of air navigation, how to lead the aircraft under severe and adverse circumstances, interpretation of meteorological reports, very important that you understand the weather and weather patterns, and of course, you have the thrill of the flying and to be the maverick in the Pete Mitchell. And I hope that all of you know are aware of the Maverick from the very famous movie Top Gun that would be coming. That was made a long time back, and there's a new one which has come or is going to come soon. So, without any wasting any further time, let me introduce you to aviation and, in particular, commercial pilot training, which could be broadly divided into three parts. So the first part is the theory part. So with the DGCA, or the Director General Civil Aviation, which is a regulatory authority in India for civil aviation, you have five subjects to be given with the DGCA, the written exam, which is your air navigation, which is basically study of the, your navigation instruments and how do you basically fly, theory wise. Second is air regulations, that's your air law, regulations and everything around it. Aviation meteorology is study of the weather. Then you have these four and fifth. Subject four and fifth is technical general and technical specific. So these two subjects are required for people who would be flying in India, and if you are going abroad to fly, then you are exempted from these two subjects basically. So technical general is basically the aerodynamics, engineering, and everything related, the mechanics of the flight or the aircraft. And technical specific is basically that specific aircraft that you would want to fly and you would want to study that part. Okay. And the last sixth paper that you see here is radio telephony restricted. This is basically the communication training that you need to have to speak to the air traffic controller, which is basically authority which regulates the air traffic or the air flow, aircraft flow, or the traffic surrounding an airport and vicinity. This is the theory part. After you finish the theory, you side by side with the theory, you go for the medicals as well. The medicals class 1 and class 2. So these are divided in two parts. So class 2 is done with a DGCA empaneled or a certified doctor. And then after you pass your class 2, your fitness will be checked as the gentleman, Dr. Prashant, he was just conveying. He's one of the top 10 heart surgeons in India that we have, in fact. So he had conveyed to you the importance of medicals in aviation. So class 2, after you clear your class 2, you go for your class 1 medicals, which is taken by the Indian Air Force. And these medical tests are basically your blood test and all those physicalities they would check. The major concerns for them will be the eye. You should have 6x6 vision. If you're wearing spectacles, it should be corrected to 6x6 after you wear your glasses. And once you clear your medicals and your theory papers, now you are all set to go for your flying, basically. So for the flying training, we have Captain Brishpal here, who's the CEO of USAS Flying School. USAS Aviation Solutions is the name of the flying school, which is in the state of Ohio in the US. He will tell us a lot more in detail about the school. And I'll just tell you in a nutshell, we would take 200 hours for you for that is the required number of hours for your CPL. And 200 hours would be divided in 185 hours in single engine and 15 hours of multi-engine with 25 hours of simulator training. So what's the duration of all these subjects? So as I told you, eligibility 10+2, maths and physics. Minimum age is 18 years old. Course duration for the ground or the theory subjects is 6 months. We will train you for the 6 months. After you get training for the 6 months for the theory subjects, you have to give your exams with the Ministry of Civil Aviation via DGCA. And after you finish those papers and medicals, you could do those side by side. Then you move on for your flying, and you're flying the entire 200 hours from the time you land in the US. From that time onwards, within 6 to 18 months, your flying would be finished, that entire 200 hours. Okay, so that's the benefit of our flying school, that we have very short in very short period of time we could do. Okay, so what's the scope? Okay, once you're qualified as a pilot or as a CPL holder, you could join the airlines as a junior first officer. Along with the airlines, where all could you work? Okay, so you could go to the general aviation, that's your charter flights and your private planes that we call corporate jets. That's your general aviation. You could fly as an instructor. After you finish your flying, you could work as an instructor and build up hours. More than the salary, building up hours is very important as a cadet or as a trainee pilot or someone who wants to build up his hours before he goes to the airline. And very interesting and very encouraging that since the past few years, 5 to 6 years that we see, we have had a lot of vacancies from the military services for commercial pilots. So if you remember, just 1 month back, we had a vacancy from BSF, Border Security Force. So Border Security Force had a vacancy for CPL holders with multi and type rating, of course, for ab initio pilots. Then every year there is a vacancy in Coast Guard. Then again, I remember there was a vacancy in Airport Authority of India. So all these, other than your airlines, you have a lot of opportunities elsewhere. And just to start off with, the starting offer for a co-pilot or a pilot starts from 1.5 for 1.75 to even 2.25 lakhs for junior first officer as soon as he gets in an airline. So meet our instructors. We have extremely serious and very experienced and instructors with us. So I'll take you through each one of them. So we have Capt.Daniel Gonzales here, and he would be joining us very shortly. Uh, so he was ex-Airforce Panama. He was flying with Copa America earlier, which is in South Americas, and through Europe and South America. He was ex-Air India, a commander with ex-Air India 737s. He was ex-Jet Airways, again 737 senior commander. And we are glad to have him here with us at Skylark Aviation, that he is our honorary ground instructor and our students love him. He has a very unique and a very intriguing style of teaching, which we all are very fond of. In fact, I mean, I would visit his lectures on any given day whenever I have the time. Next year is Captain Shrikant Gondane. He is here with us. This gentleman, he never gets old, or he is tireless with the experience that he has and the enthusiasm that he holds for this field here with us. So he has been in a senior captain with Air India. He was with Boeing 777s, and we are glad that he is part of Skylark Aviation as an instructor. No, then I would want you to introduce you to Captain Brishpal. He is the chief flight instructor of USAS, that's United States Aviation Solutions Flight School, which is in Ohio in US. He's also the CEO of that flying school, and we are glad to have him with us. And when you students who would join us and go to the US, you will be learning all your flying schools under his wings. I mean, he's a very experienced instructor. He has been flying since past close to now 20 years or more than that. Please correct me, Captain, if I'm wrong with the figures here. So he has more than 20 years of flying experience, in fact. So all these people are here to
He's
help you.
actually got more than 35 years of flying experience.
Oh my God! So I have, in fact, I mentioned the half of it. So you heard it. He has 35 years of experience. Even kept all these stalwarts that we have, leaving aside myself, these are all 30 plus years people with experiences. Even Captain Daniel, he has 30 years experience in the cockpit, in fact. And Kshiteej Savardekar, I am the chief ground instructor for your ground subjects with Skylark Aviation. Okay. Now, let me just give you a very short brief of the flying school in the US. So this is the facility, a very short pictures that we have here. So these are the aircrafts that we have, the office and the runway that we land on. So this is in Middleton, Ohio, the runway that we use. And the runway is fully equipped with instrument flying, night landing facilities and everything here. This is the aircraft and the classroom and everything that you see here. And the training cost and everything that we will take you through just after our introduction to the our guest here. So just to inform you, your entire flying training cost, or the practical flying training cost, would include 200 hours of flying fee, which include that makes up of 185 hours single engine, 15 hours of multi engine, and 25 hours of simulator. What's included in the flying training cost is your 4 check rides. Also, your accommodation is included. We are not taking any extra fee for that. That's included in your package. Plus your uniform, supplies. Interestingly, even transportation, shuttle to and fro from the hostel to the flight school and back. And every week we will take you to the supermarket to have your groceries, and also you don't need to buy a car there. Like most people, they say that you need to have a car in the US, but you don't need. Trust us, we will have you covered there, and that will ensure that you save money there, in fact. Okay. And apart from this, every little help, in fact, since we understand very young students who go there just after their 12th, so their security and safety is of the utmost importance to us. So be assured that if your parents have joined us with you, so let me assure them that their safety, safety of the students will be taken care of in our own hostels there. which is very nearby to the airport. So, and we will keep a track of the students and keep informing the parents, regularly, so that their safety is not a bothering cause for the parents there. And yeah, so I'm very glad that all our guests have joined us. In fact, Captain Daniel has just joined us. Captain Sagar is here. Captain Shrikant is here. Captain Brishpal is here. And we are awaiting. We are told that Captain Sumit will be joining us shortly. Let us see. He's a very busy person, and let us see that if he could join us shortly. So over to you, Captain Gondane, and please guide us through.
Yes, good evening, everyone. And I'm speaking from the pristine place near to Uti, away from pandemic of Mumbai. And let me introduce myself. My name is Shrikant. I retired from Air India after 38 years of service, and then I was on a contract for another. Then I flew for another 2 years, and then I retired after having 40 years of combined aviation experience in engineering, cabin crew, and flying both. So I have three major department experiences within Air India. That is engineering, as an engineer with a power plant and airframe engineering, and then with in-flight services. Then I moved over to the operations. Right. I flew initially Airbus 310, then I flew and graduated to 777, and I finally retired in 2018. Okay, with my knowledge and what I could share is, like, if you want to plan something in your life, you need to be very, very specific, goal oriented, and be very ruthless what you want to achieve in your life, whether it's in your professional life, career life, or health life, or the financial life, or the social life, family life. You need to be having a clear cut defined goal, right? Unless you have that, you will be wandering into generality, and you will reach nowhere else. So please, my advice to you, it will be like, be very, very specific in whatever goals you have in your life. Be very specific. Like I introduced to you, my brother, younger brother, is 5 years older to me, younger to me, and he was one of the, I mean, he is considered one of the greatest heart surgeons in India, who produced a man with a two hearts in India. He also shared his wisdom to you that you need to have some gold standards in your own life. Set that gold standards and try to achieve it. Well, having said that, we at the Skylark Aviation, what we are trying to do is uh, to guide you in achieving your goals, and we have a specific strategic program which will be a win-win-win situation. That means we train you right in a certain way, you get trained in a certain way, you you go in a certain way to America, you achieve your goals of flying there, and you not only save a lots and lots of amount of money, but you get the knowledge in certain way that you will retain it, recall it, and use it. That is the fundamental thing. Like, learn it, use it, recall it, and use it. That is the fundamental thing in aviation. Like, unless you use it, it's useless for in aviation. Every small things, you learn it, you use it. That is why you as a pilot, you are the highest paid. You all your five senses at operating at utmost efficiency, like, not 100%, I would say it as a 200% efficiency. So with that thing in mind, we collaborated with USAS, that is United States Aviation Solution. Now you will not find them on when you Google it as a United States Aviation Flying School, because flying school is just one part of the subject for them. Right? They are into many things. Like, the if you know about the AMR group, the American airline is just one small part of the AMR group, like the American airline, which operates like 1,100 flights a day, right? That is a small part of AMR group. So for them, for the USAS, that is United States Aviation Solution, flying school is one small part of the business. Okay, so they are into many different things, and I know the Captain Brishpal Singh for many times, and he was here in India for a long time, and he was a chief flying instructor before he moved to Canada, and he was operating a lot of aviation related services for the Canadian government, and then he moved to America. Now I know his background, I know his honesty, I know his commitment. So that is why we thought of collaborating with him, because he's been so honest. He doesn't want any person or any candidate who is non-committed, who is not goal-oriented, doesn't want to achieve anything in life, who doesn't want to just wander into generality. He want to be very specific, a serious candidate, and that's why he collaborated with us to find out the right candidate. That is what we thought. We choose the right candidate, train them for the CPL ground classes here and other things which I'm not going to divulge here, because that is like our own specialty. And then only we select those candidates to go to Captain Richwal's USAS, where they will be trained in the shortest possible time. And they will come back, convert their license with the DGCA in India, and be ready when the opportunities are there in Indian airspace. They will bounce it, grab it, and get going. That is the bottom line. So here in this case, it's a triple win situation. Everybody wins here. I am not here, or Kshitej is not here, or the Captain Brishpal is not here to make money on you, but to guide you, provided you are serious, and we save lakhs and lakhs of rupees for you. And not only that, that is the money part, but you will be getting trained as a real aviation professional, because once we have determined that once you go through us, anybody says, okay, you are going from Skylark Aviation and the USAS, that yes, he is a person to be trusted with maybe 500 passengers on your back, and you can fly down them safely. So that will be our intentions. So that is a short thing about our collaborations and all. Regarding my journey in aviation, in a very short time, I started as an engineer. I moved to be I worked with the airplane, power plant, and the airframe and systems, and then I thought I'll move and see the world for free. So I become joined the infantry services. Then I said, okay, now I want to become a captain. So I became a captain. I went to US in almost almost 28 years back, and then I learned flying, came back and joined and then I flew Airbus all across the world, and then I flew 777 all across the world, the non-stop flight from Delhi to Chicago or everything. So that is in short, the aviation is such a field, you are always on a high adrenaline, you enjoy it, you will never get tired of aviation, because everything is different. Every time your takeoff is different, your landing is different, your circumstances is different. So it is never been tiring. You tell me after 40 years, would I like to fly again? I would say yes, another 40 years I would like to fly again. So in that short term, you can feel it, that aviation has never been tiring. It's so enjoyable. You feel like a flying bird. When you sit in a 777 cockpit, and you say you have the office in 36,000 feet, with 180 degrees of view. How many people in the world they will have this kind of luxury? No, very few, on the fingertips. So you want to join aviation, have a big dream, enjoy it. I read in long time back in economics magazine while on board, Basically, there are the ways of making money, the millions and tons of making money. You can make millions of money by manufacturing a pin, or you can make millions of money by manufacturing an aircraft or flying an aircraft or owning an airline company. You choose it the way you want to enjoy your life. I choose to enjoy my life by becoming a pilot. So you have your choice. You are here by choice. Life is a series of choices. Making a right choice at the right time, you will call as a lucky person. You are here. I welcome you. Thank you so much, Kshiteej. Handing over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was
Thank you very much, sir.
okay. What we will do is just hold on, everyone, and we will take your questions. I understand you have a lot of questions, and we are here to answer all your questions, every one of yours. So before we move to the question, just keep them noted down on the on the chat boxes, or keep it written to you. We will come back to you shortly. Before moving ahead, I want to thank Captain Gondane for this lovely experience that he shares. Whenever we have him on the on a webinar, and when he talks about his experience, it always gives you that encouraging feeling to start this very very thrilling, as somebody says, this thrilling experience as a career, as a pilot, in fact. And we have Captain Brishpal, we have Captain Daniel also here who joined. Captain Daniel, if you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear, Captain.
Okay, and we are glad that you could join us here. We have strong 70 members who are listening to you live. So let me just introduce all of you to Captain Daniel. Captain Daniel Gonzales, has been ex-Air Force in Panama. Later, he flew with Copa America in the South Americas, and also Europe. He then joined Air India on the 737s for, just correct me, Captain, for 10 years, and later moved to Jet Airways, I think, for another 6 to 7 years. And finally, he's here with us with Skylark Aviation as our honorary ground instructor. If you join us, he will be teaching you meteorology, regulations, and also Jepson charts and chart reading and everything that we would be studying in this institute exclusively. I don't think so anybody else is doing that. So before your CPL stage, you will be learning your Jepson in our school. I'll hand over to you, Captain, and please take it from here, and inspire the students with your experiences.
Okay, thank you, Thank you, Captain Shrikant. Thank you, Captain Gondane, for the excellent presentation. To all of you, welcome to Skylark. One of the best opportunity for all of you to become professional pilots. I've been in India for almost 15 years. I came to India in 2006. So the market now, I am sure that will improve, will grow up. So the opportunities to join airlines will be there, for sure will be there. My suggestion to all of you, so the questions that you have, so please take a paper with a pen, just write the papers, hold all the questions that you have, because what we want to clarify whatever you need to know or whatever you want to ask. Our duties here are always to support the students with the more value that is information. With the information, you can take the right decision, and this decision is for your future. Long time back, we are talking about the approximately 1988. 1988, when I joined Air Force, I didn't have all this kind of internet, Zoom, mobiles. We didn't have anything. By that time, the information was all from papers, books, and we try, by that time, always we try to find information. But these days, with the internet, everything is easier. So what we are planning always to have the schedule for all of you to come on time and join. So whatever you need from the training department, for example, as per Captain Kshiteej, he mentioned, I am taking care of the ground school. So whatever regulations, methodology, navigation, captain, or any subject that we are taking care, you can contact me anytime, 24 hours, 7 days per week, and I will be available to, just to answer all your questions. Will be my pleasure and will be my honor. Working with this team, the most important is that we feel strong. We had the pandemic, but the pandemic is slowly becoming weak. So as per all the vaccines are improving, the vaccines are uh, reaching all the states in everywhere in India and everywhere around the world. So we have to be ready. Why we have to be ready? Because time is money. So we need to get the CPL and all the ratings that as per your dreams you want to become true. So we'll be here to make your dreams become true. I suggest also as per my experience, so always try to update your details in the web page. Try to keep in contact with the Captain Kshiteej for any information that you need. So also try to update whatever information you need from YouTube or from Google about the market, about how the airlines they are calling pilots. These days, I got around 4 or 5 opportunities to fly in India as well. In India and some other countries. So the meaning of this is we have to be ready for the market. We have to be ready. The doors are opening. Once this open, for me, the airlines they will be encouraged to find pilots. We need pilots as soon as possible, and the pilot should be ready with the good standards as per the dgca requirements and the international regulations are required. So please, I want to say thank you to all of you again, once again, for the attention that now you are taking care of this time of this Zoom. So please follow us in Instagram, follow us in Facebook. So my WhatsApp is available for all of you. Thank you, Captain Gondane, once again, and to all the staff, Captain Brishpal Singh, that is a captain that also have my respect 100%. So Captain Kshiteej, please, you can continue. Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Captain Daniel, for your very inspiring and words. And you will be a regular with Captain Daniel as he is an instructor with the institute, and all our students are fond of him for the meteorology and regulation subjects importantly, and he will be starting the navigation subject soon. And this is as per the experience that he has flown in the cockpit. I mean, this is not just the theory knowledge. The flying that he has close to 15,000 hours under his belt. So this all comes with experience. So the theory training that you will be getting is all a raw experience of the flight training that he is was in the cockpit. Our very special guest here with us is Sagar. I mean, I am very thankful to Sagar. He is having a terrible cold, and doctors have advised him to take enough rest. But just on my request, he could join me. He's a very good friend and a batchmate of mine. Sagar, please go ahead. And I'm sorry if you could not comfortable to talk. You could cut short the meeting. But yeah, please go ahead with your kind words.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Thanks, Kshiteej. Yeah,
Yes.
I have some cough, so might be after talking sometime I might cough. So I am new to the aviation as per the all the captains over here. I just have experience of 3 years in the airline and overall 10 years. So I started it in 2008. I completed my BSc in aviation, and I went to Canada for my training. The Canada part, it was from my school. I have studied in IAS, that is Institute of Aviation and Aviation Safety. So they arrange all the training. So that's how I went to Canada. I completed the training and everything. From there, I came back and I started working in Air India. Uh, I was with Kshiteej only over there. We were working together. And while working over there, I came around with ATR pilots, and with them I talked. I had a chat. Um there are few options, like if you don't have a multi-engine in aviation, you don't have much options in aircrafts. So in India, we have this ATR aircrafts, which are very new, the advanced aircraft which are taken by Indigo those days. And so I just had a chat with these captains, and I learned about this aircraft.
Sir, Captain Sagar is on audible.
Yeah. Sagar, if you could just unmute your mic again. I think it got unmuted.
Hello.
Muted.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was muted.
Yeah, please go.
Okay, so after my training, I came back to India, and I got the opportunity to apply for Indigo, and I'm working since then. It's been now almost 3 years. Uh, Today, Kshitish told me like you have a great counseling session, and I was just listening to captains over here. Uh, it is very good that you guys are getting these opportunities, because in our days we didn't had at all. Like, we used to literally search captains to get some information, like what are the books we have to read, what are the things we have to do. We didn't knew like from where to start. So this is very good that he is doing, and just take this opportunity and try as much as possible, give questions. We'll all answer your questions. I'm the junior most, but I will also try to answer all the questions as possible. And yeah, just give the questions. We will answer for you.
Okay,
Captain Kshitiej, with
I
you.
have the first question for you, Captain Sagar. In how many
Yeah,
days did you get a
yeah.
job as soon as you finished your ATR? I'm not saying years, I'm
Oh,
saying days. I'm saying days.
days. I just calculated with 10 years.
I will tell you the answer. He's been very humble. He got a job with the airline in 12 days. As soon as he got his type rating, he got his job in 12 days. And
Yeah, I think it was 14th Feb when I got my license, and the very next day Indigo came with this ATR, and I just applied it. Yeah, it was very lucky for me. Yeah, that's true.
yeah. And how is the experience flying ATR, the very favorite one, as we say in Indian skies now? Like every airline wants to have an ATR, and every airline wants to have a ATR pilot as well nowadays. How is the experience being
True,
a
true.
pilot on the airline?
It's very good. It's I can't like express it, but it's like you have to fly it. Like you can't. That's the only aircraft like you can fly, you can do automation, you can do both, like at extremes. And I think that is most of the advanced aircraft today in India, which after 787 I think I loved it. I can't, I just love the aircraft.
Okay, so what we could see with the ATR, I'll just add only one line. As we know that via the with the Udan scheme, the government been they call it their flagship program. The Udan scheme has solved the problem for a lot of smaller tier 2 and tier 3 cities. As we call in aviation, these are the feeder cities. So these cities, they feed these passengers to these big metros, and from there they go to international or other metro cities. So you have flying your airports like Belgaum coming up, Gulbarga, like a very
Yeah.
successful airport like Gulbarga has come up, the time when it
Yes.
started, Indigo has started 2 to 3 flights a day now. It's a tier 2, tier 3 city. Then you have areas like Ratnagiri, Surat being a bigger airport now. Vadodara, all these smaller cities have grown, and you could find the pilots coming from these smaller cities. That is the beauty of it. And I'll tell you from my experience, at least in Air India, I can tell you, lot of newer experience, lot of these newer airports which are coming up are in fact starting to sow seeds of young pilots there. I can tell you, a month ago I was in Gulbarga, and this airport just got I think 6 months back it started, and we went to Gulbarga just to have a session for the new young children there, for how they could pursue their career in aviation. I can tell you that it was a packed auditorium. We had 70 to 100 students who came to just to listen to us that what aviation is. Imagine that in a COVID situation. Imagine this is just in October, November year, and you could tell the amount of enthusiasm in the small cities, and that is where ATR is going. And you could have new pilots coming from new smaller cities than the conventional. You would have pilots from Mumbai, Delhi, and elsewhere. Okay, so thank you, Sagar, again for the experience, and we will keep coming to you, every once in a while. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Thank you so much, Satish.
Captain Gondane, I'll give it to you so that you could brief ahead, and we could take the program ahead, and we can ask Captain Brishpal also to say a few words.
Yeah. Hi guys. Once more with you, and I would like to say, like, whatever aircraft you fly, whether it's a ATR, whether it's a 737, whether it's a A320, whether it's a 777 or 787, it is not the aircraft only you fly. It's like, your attitude, the way, like, you just imagine yourself, you are sitting in a cockpit in the seat, and you are a free bird, like, you are flying in the sky in the three-dimensional, and you enjoy the view, you enjoy the scenario, you enjoy the challenges, you enjoy the procedures, you enjoy your life. Basically, it's a life is there to enjoy, like, and how you enjoy, at what level enjoy is for you to decide. Like, you want to become a captain and enjoy, by all means you can enjoy it, right? So it's your attitude, it's your dream, like, what you want to enjoy. Like, the money and everything will fall in place. You don't look after that. Like my brother, like, who was addressing you, as a heart surgeon, like, those who join in first 5 or 10 minutes, like, he's a heart surgeon, one of the most heart surgeons. Like, for one surgery he charged like 5 lakh rupees. Like, he's got that level of expertise. Like, and he enjoys that. So what I mean to say that he doesn't enjoy making money, but the offshoot is, like, he's, like, the way he performs the surgeries, the way he enjoys it. The money is the offshoot. The money is just an offshoot. So your aim is to, like, be in the profession where you get the trained from the best, learn from the best, and be the best. So that's all I would like to say. Like, the enjoy the life. Life is actually, it's very short. You cap your life to 100 years. You sleep for 1/3 of your life. You imagine, like, like, if you got life of 60 years, you 20 years of your life, that 8 hours a day you spend in sleeping. So 20 years you'll be sleeping. So your productive life is only 40 years. Now, how you want to plan that life is up to you. Like, you have to be the master planner. So we are here to help you in your professional career, and we have the best people, and your interest will be the foremost. The rest is all offshoot. We are here to help you. So you need to trust us. To You need to trust Captain Kshiteej. You need to trust Captain Brishpal. We are here. I know Captain Brishpal Singh is a no nonsense man. He will say, yes, I want this kind of person, I want this kind of student who is committed, who is not just coming to my school because he just got a money. I want you select a person, you select a candidate who is coming to my school because he's committed, who is having the extreme passion about the aviation. That is his precondition, and that is what I liked it, and we that is like to invite Captain Brishpal to elaborate on the flying training program. And also we are fortunate enough also, he's one of the trusted right-hand man, Captain Faizan, who is a flight instructor with him, is also here. So all your queries will be answered by them. And believe me, we are here to give the best deal under the sun. Right. I would like to invite Captain Brishpal now. Kshiteej, over to you, please.
Yes, thank you, sir. And as Captain had invited, Captain Brishpal, all yours, sir. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I've been listening to Capt.Kshiteej and Captain Shrikant, also Captain Daniel. You had given very clear and vast information required about aviation. I would introduce myself. I joined aviation in 1983, and since then we are into it. And in our times, as Captain Daniel mentioned, we didn't know where to go, how to fly, where to fly, what to study, what material. We had 7 exams, and we didn't have no information. So you guys are lucky that Captain Shrikant is there and Captain Kshiteej is there. Now aviation is very, very simple. My whole team and partners here in America, we have come to a point where we had those problems, we need to solve it. In our times, it would take about 5 years, 4.5 years to 5 year minimum to get a license, commercial pilot license in India at that time. Because there were no night flying facilities, no instrument flying facilities, no aircraft were either the aircraft was not equipped with instrument or there was no instruments on the ground. Keeping in mind all those things, we have come to, we have teamed up with Skylark Aviation and Yes We Aerospace of Captain Shrikant to make it happen and get you guys as soon as possible. You get here, and probably we are planning to keep our course 6 to 8 months, which you will have to study here also. You'll have to have ground classes, and then initially we will have you check rides for every private pilot license, instrument rating, and then commercial pilot license. Also a check ride for a multi-engine endorsement. So basically your studies will be continued from there to here. And if somebody has a misconception that going to aviation is just flying planes, I'm sorry to say that the studies will not leave you till you leave the aviation. Also, your accommodation, your fee structure, your requirements, everything has been clearly mentioned by Captain Kshiteej. But what I would like to say is, we are here in Ohio State, and the city is Middletown. This airport we choose is because it does not have any restriction on flying hours. You can fly in the day, fly in the night. Most of the times, the airport is just for you. There is no much of traffic here, which is good for training. Also, the weather is at least about at the most 2 months, month and a half will be bad in winters. But if you come in summer times like these, I would say you can, it'll take probably about a month for your first solo. Once you are doing your solo, then it all depends how fast you can pull on. I would like nobody to be, indisciplined, not coming for flying. I'm not well today. I had a little too much to drink last night. We don't want that. As Captain Shrikan mentioned that there is no nonsense game in aviation. If you want to be a pilot, you have to be disciplined from day one till the end of the days. So be aware that you're coming here You'll be under strict vigilance. You'll be staying where we want you to stay. You'll be transported to the school. You'll be having ground classes at time. Also flying. We have experienced pilots. Myself will be flying with you, and we have pilots from American Airline. Also, we have senior captains who had been into American Air Force and American Airlines, and they had been DPE, which is like an examiner, for more than 20 years. So we have a good team of people here. We have enough of aircrafts for you to be flying. You won't have any problems flying. The time scheduling is about 6 to 8 months. It might take a little bit more for some people who cannot pull on their studies or somehow weather or whatever reasons, which is not in our hands, basically. So my thing to you is, when you come here to America, what you need to do first is to get with Capt.Kshiteej in Skylark Aviation. He'll give you all the information requirement of medical. He has already mentioned studies, exams. I would suggest everybody that they should clear their DGC exams, including RTR, which is radio, medical, so that once you go from here, you don't have to be in line, waste your time to study, which is really different in America and India. So the best thing would be clear all your exams, spend some more time there before you clear your exam and you're ready to come here. Once everything is ready to go, then what we need from you is copy of passport of the trainee, copy of the passport of the father or person who is sponsoring you, date of birth certificate, sponsorship letter from the person who is sponsoring you, 6 months of bank statement. And also I would mention here that 6 months does not mean that you send me 6 months from January to June and then you deposit money in 1 month, which will not be accepted. So you need to show at least $40,000 to $50,000 in your account for preceding 6 months. Capt.Kshiteej, am I right? Am I clear to you?
Yes, yes, sir. Got it.
Basically, all these paperwork you have to do, and then you have to fill up a form with our school thing on it. And once we send you the I-20, you can take all those paperwork what you have sent to us to the embassy and take a date for your interview. Once you are here, we'll pick you up from the airport. We'll put you in the place you have to stay, and probably very next day, within 24 hours, we start your flight. So my whole mission or ambition towards this is you should get quality training in least amount of time, because time is money in aviation. So once you are a pilot, you have your license. There are n number of opportunities, as Capt.Kshiteej mentioned. BSF was there for required pilots as a CPL holder. I know my instructor went to BSF and he just retired from BSF as a IG. And then he was taken in by Ambani's to fly their private plane. Highest paid pilot in India. He was drawing 20 lakh rupees a month, and he still is. So the whole thing is that you just train yourself, get your license, and there will be opportunities waiting on your door. Thank you very much for listening to this. And Captain Shri and Capt.Kshiteej, Captain Daniel, it was nice talking to you. If you guys have any question, I'm here. Over to you, Capt.Kshiteej.
Yes, very nicely put there, Captain Brishpal, and I would hope that all you students who have gathered here have heard it right from the from the school themselves, that how the training would be, and how you could go about the training part, at least the flying part in the US. Can you hear me, Captain Brishpal?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. All right. So having said that, we have Captain Faizan also here, who himself joined USAS as a as a trainee pilot, and then he is in the US working in that same school as an instructor now. It's close to 5 years, right? So, Captain Faizan, if you could just
Right.
share a few of your experiences, then we could take the questions from our participants.
Yes, sure. I mean, like, as I was listening to Captain Shrikant Gondane and Captain Daniel, like they started like in the olden times, they had to use all the paper charts and books in terms to fly in the airspace. Nowadays, they're like more provided equipments like, iPads and 4 flights you could use and things like that. And as well as Captain Brishpal said, like clear your paper before you come over here in terms to fly, because DGCA paperwork takes a while. And once you finish your flying, you always want to go and convert your license right away because you don't want to wait and let your hours expire, which is more important. So a better planning, which always comes in handy in terms of flying. And that's why we have like Capt.Kshiteej and Shrikant over here to guide you guys all in a right path. So
Right.
as in United States, we have very easygoing flying, like say about approaches. You want to do approaches, you don't have to go and get clearance for it. You could just go do approaches at an uncontrolled airspace where you could do VOR, RNAVs, and GPS. So it is a very good exposure in flying, I could say. You could go to Bravo airspace. Like I myself have flown to DFW airspace, which is an international airspace with a single engine aircraft. So we could train you with a metropolitan and congested airspace with a good quality and how to talk to the radio and ATC and how to request things, how to get a flight following or say instrument approaches. So there are a lot of different exposure in aviation in the United States,
Hmm.
where which is uncontrolled and controlled too. So I would say like starting as soon as possible is the best thing because usually it takes some time to get trained too. And as flying needs to be fun, but it needs to be professional, very professional, as Captain Brishpal was saying before. Right.
Correct. Correct.
So so yes, I mean like it doesn't have to be professional 24/7. Could have a little fun, but certainly it needs to be professional too as well.
Right.
So if there's any question, do let me know. I'm here to answer you guys. I'll hand it over to Captain Satish.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Captain Faizan. It was indeed. It's always nice to see you here.
Likewise, sir.
It's early now there on a Sunday at least, and good to
Right,
have you
not a
here
problem,
sharing
sir.
sharing experience.
Sure.
So
I mean,
you
like
would
anything for young birds. Yeah.
you would have a lot of questions coming to you, especially for the conditions in the US and the flying
Right.
structure there. So before we proceed any further, let me just bring you to speed the flying fees. So Captain Gondani, if you could allow me, can I proceed with that?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
So I would, yes, thank you, sir. So I would believe most of the questions of the students who have been waiting would be, importantly, what is the fees? What is the structure of the fees and everything? So let me just bring all your queries to a stop. When I could tell you that, the ground training fee and there is a flying training fee. So your ground training fee for all the 6 subjects, count with me: air navigation, air regulations, aviation meteorology, even your technical general and technical specific, even when you don't need it for, as a subject to pass with the DGCA for flying abroad. But we believe that, anybody who is flying India abroad or anywhere else need to have the technical aspect or their technical knowledge cleared before they move in or even sit in an aircraft. So you want to learn the technicalities or about the aircraft on the ground, not while you are in the cockpit and then trying to figure out what this dial is or what that dial is. That would increase your flying training time and in a way increase your flying training cost. So that is one more aspect that you should, I always advocate that even when you don't need your technical training, you should pass your DGCA papers, and if not pass, at least take the training so that you are familiar with the aircraft structure, engineering, the aerodynamics, and the mechanics. So air navigation, air regulations, aviation meteorology, technical general, technical specific, and the sixth subject is radio telephony or radio telephony restricted aeroplane, which is RTR taken by the Ministry of Communication, WPC. So these six subjects, the training will be for 5 to 6 months. Me, Captain Daniel himself, Captain Gondane is here, and a few more of our captains. Even Captain Brishpal could one of these days could come and tell us a little more about the practicalities of flying, like one or two instruments he could take. So all these qualified instructors would be there to teach you for a period of 6 months, and then you give your DGCA papers. So the cost of the theory papers is 1.5 lakhs, 1.5 lakhs Indian rupees for all the 6 subjects. And then for the flying training, for all these 200 hours, which includes your flying training, which includes your check ride training, you would have 4 check rides, which is included, which would include your accommodation, which would include your shuttle service or the transportation from the school to the your hostel and back, and also once in a while to the grocery store. So your cost of traveling is reduced. Then your accommodation includes your, you don't need to pay extra for your electricity or water or even internet. We have a kitchen there so that you could cook your own food and everything. We don't charge any extra for that. So what your food, your flying is covered, your check ride is covered, your transportation covered, your accommodation covered. Okay. And all of the supplies, the supplies like your uniform, your books, etc., and all these things will be covered for you. So basically, all this included in the package for a period of 6 to 8 months to complete all your 200 hours, including your multi-engine, will cost you, $41,500, $41,500 US. Okay, inclusive of all these things that we have spoken. And any extra fee which goes to the FAA or the federal authorities will be separate but you don't need to pay any extra fee apart from these what I've told you to the flying school. So with this said, so with your permission, can we open up the questionnaire, because I could see a lot of questions popping up in the section here.
Before that, I would like to add something.
Yeah.
After you complete all the students who have been selected to do the course and who have been selected to do the flying in USAS, will be also, after completing their ground training, they have to give us, they will be also undergoing specific training under me for the flying maneuvers or the instrument flying techniques. And that will be another charge for that, but that will save your lots and lots of money, whether it's your flying training cost or like the check ride if you flunk in that one. So that will be a huge amount of savings. So that will be also addition to this after the ground training. That will be included. I'm not going to divulge the more details into that one, because that is our USP between the Skylark and my company, that is SV Aerospace Private Limited, and we have the joint venture with Captain Brishpal, USAS. So we have the unique combination that means here we are here for business to make you the best captain and the best pilot, so that you spend the least amount of cost in your training. We also we are not here for charity. Captain Brishpal is not here for charity, right? We are in the business, and we means a business, right? But in that sense, we give you the best deal in the industry. That is for sure. Okay, so that has to be absolutely clear. We are not here for charity, but we are here for selecting the best of the best who are serious enough to become the best pilots in the industry. We select those candidates, those who can clear the DGCA exams. After clearing the DGCA exams, they come to me. I give them the specific training that will save them the lakhs of rupees, and then they give it to Captain Brishpal. Then he will do the flight training. That is the procedure. At what stage, what time limit, that is our USP. I'm not going to divulge that one at this in the public platform, but that is our USP. Because of that, you will gain a lakhs of rupees as compared to any of the flying school or any of the flying training institute in India. That is for sure. Thank you very much.
Right, sir.
Kshitij,
Right,
over to
right.
you, please.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. And okay, so we are now open to questions. We would, ask, we would request, of course, that please maintain the best discipline that you could here. And please raise your hands if you want to ask a few questions. Then we will take the questions from the chat box. We will take a few questions one-on-one. So please raise your hands so that we could go ahead and ask you. Okay, so first question, I would give it to Steve is here. Yes, Steve, please go ahead. Steve, let me just introduce Steve here. Steve, if you could just unmute. Steve has been our student, and he could clear his RTR in his very first attempt. Let me just tell you that RTR were not happening in India since 1 year. This was the first attempt that he gave in Delhi. He finished his part 1 paper in 11 minutes. Okay, so to tell you that the passing percentage of a RTR exam is extremely low, even in a single digit. And he could clear it in the very first attempt, and he could finish the paper in 11 minutes. And his part 2 also went well. We are awaiting the results, and I am very hopeful that he'll be clearing it in the very first attempt as we see the results in a few weeks. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Please go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So my doubt is regarding medical requirement in US.
Okay.
It is regarding. Can I know what are the specific requirements medically one has to obtain to get a commercial pilot license in US?
Well, the medical you'll be requiring is like class 3 medical, but you could always get class 1 and class 2. Now, the medical in United States, you by default get is class 1, which is valid for up to 1 year. After 1 year, it turns by default into class 2, which is valid up to 2 years, but total amount of 3 years. And after that, it validates automatically to class 3, which is class 3 medical, which is valid up to 5 years. And that's under age of 40. Now, up to age of 40, it is different, which decreases 1 year on each classes.
Yeah, right, sir. But I meant to say I wanted to know the specific. I mean, what are the actual tests being done in medically?
Well, over here, the test is done by the physician. You go to that physician office, and there's a certified FA doctor. They do the test. They do eye test, drug test, and you physically check your body that you are capable to fly. You don't have no diseases. That I've seen personally, like a couple of my friends who came from Dubai to fly, and they had problems with their heart, and they used to take medications to fly. So, which is a no-no, you cannot take no medication. Certain medication prevents you to fly from the airplane because it incapacitates your performance while up in the air or handling any vehicle or machineries. So it all depends on the doctor what the medical is.
Okay, sir.
So just to rephrase his question, Captain Faizan, so can we have a list of what all tests have been done by the FA so that the student is well prepared for the medicals there?
Sure, I could try to look around for an FA examiner, a physicianist to give a list of that document, but it's going to be tough to obtain, but they won't give you that easy. Yes, Mr. Brishpal, go ahead.
Here is very simple. It is your own declaration that you are feeling good and you are under no medication. Although they do a drug test, they do your eyes check, they do your ears and your physical, they check you, they remove all your clothes and check you for weight and heart and also eyesight level. But it is suggested that everybody should get a class 1 medical from India, which is if you are under the age of 25 or 35, then it is valid for 5 years and it is valid here in US too.
Okay, sir.
You can get your medical done in India, class 1 or at least class 2, because there is no hard and fast rule for class 1 to hold a CPL or a commercial pilot license here in US, because in US you can get a license, a commercial license on class 3 medical also.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Right.
let me add one more thing here. Like, if you can get clear of the Indian medical, it's very easy to get clear of the American medical. American medical is very, very friendly. They know like the rate tags, and it's been very, very friendly. So I would advise you to get your Indian medical first done, and then you can just shut your eyes and just feel like you will be cleared of the FAA medical. So it is that simple. So I would advise like get your Indian medical clear first, because that is the foremost thing. If you are not physically fit, you cannot fly the airplane, because you are not only owing the responsibility of your own life, but the responsibility of so many other souls on board. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, sir. So let me give this question to a lady here. Ghazal, if you can hear me, please unmute yourself. Ghazal, can you hear me? Okay, we'll go to the next one. We have Rugved here. Rugved, how do you read? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
We can hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, go ahead with your question, Rugved.
Sir, my question is for Captain Sagar. Okay. How did he clear his
Bad audio, Capt.Kshiteej.
Okay, okay.
Rugved,
I think
we could not hear you. Can you put your mic nearby to your mouth?
okay. I think he has a bad reception, but I got his question. He wants to ask that how did Captain Sagar get his job so early? How did he get it? With such ease. How could he land up a job? So Sagar, you could tell us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it is not like you get the job early. It's all your preparation, all your exams. You have to just crack it. It's not that you will just go and get the job. Uh, we had a very lengthy process of selection in Indigo also. We have like 7 rounds over there. We have to clear all and each rounds. Then only you're getting selected in the airline. So, and it's not only about Indigo, it's all the airlines in India. And just be prepared. That's the only thing I can say. You can't get job like just saying like I need a job and I will get a job. You have to prepare every time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So rightly said by Captain that he has told a very noble thing that you can't expect to get a job and that the job comes and sits on your lap. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to work throughout, right through it. Even after you get a job, you need to study each and every day. Jobs are, I always tell my students, the best will never have will never have to worry about the jobs. The job will come to them. You just need to relentlessly, continuously keep studying your subject. You need to know your subject well. And of course, I mean, it is not that there was one vacancy and only one pilot in the world so that he gets a job. No, there was fierce competition. So but only that my good friend Captain Sagar, he was well prepared for it, and that is how he could crack it in his very first attempt. So that is what our honest opinion and our honest intent is also, as such, that we want to train you in such way. See, one thing I will also add up here is that it is just not the ground training or for the DGCA papers that we want to prepare you for. Once you come to us, we will train you for the interviews as well. We will help you with the vacancies, where they are, how do you approach a vacancy, how do you answer your questions in the interviews, group discussions. We will groom you throughout the process. So it is just not a 6 months affair that we have, and then after you finish your papers, then we don't know you. It is not that way. even after you finish your papers.
Sir, I cannot hear you, sir, properly.
Okay.
Was that?
What about everybody else? Can you hear me?
What did you ask?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Okay. He was saying that he could not hear. Somebody was saying they could not hear. Just check your internet issue there. Okay, so I will just finish it off by saying that we will groom you throughout the entire process. After your CPL, even after your CPL, we will train you for the interview preparations. How do you go about it? We will help you with the vacancies, where they are, and how do you approach towards it. We will also suggest you which type rating you should get and which aircraft specific type rating you should go for in that particular period, because that's a very important choice that one has to make. Yes, so Ashwani Mittal. Ashwani, are you there?
Yeah, Kshitej, I want to add one more thing here.
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah, to add to this,
Yes, sir.
Hi. Was it who asked that question? That Mahajan, right?
Yeah, Rugved Mahajan.
Yes,
Yeah, Rugved, I love you guys. Like Rugved and Joshi. Yes, Joshi. Like, you are so, yeah, I mean, to tell other guys who are here, they are just, I think, 16, 17 years old kids, but they are aspiring and to become a pilot. Like they're just waiting when they become a 17 or 18 and then they start flying. That is the kind of dream they have, and then I really admire you guys. And so bringing back to the
thank you, sir.
question
Thank you
which
so
you
much.
asked, what is the USP? Like the Captain Sagar got his job so easily. It looks so simple, but there is so much of preparation behind it. There is so much of thinking behind it. There is so much of strategic planning behind it, which we do not even want to divulge on the public platform, right? What you should be doing, at what stage you would be doing, where you'll be going, how you'll be going. That is our USP, right? I don't want to divulge that one on the public platform. But let me tell you, my daughter now, she's a 28, right? She is a LLM from the University of Berkeley, which is ranked 6th in the world, whereas the IIT Mumbai or the IIM, they ranked 156th, right? Now, that is when she got into there, we call it strategic planning. Right, when she come out of it, how much money we spend and how much time we spend and what is the result of the outcome. Okay, now accordingly, my daughter's classmate, he wanted to become a pilot, right? When he was in the 11th standard, I guided him. You do so and so, so and so. When you clear 12, you go and do the medical at this stage. You go and this flying club. You do flying, and then you come back, and then you join the airline. Right now, he exactly followed that route. That route which has been known, which has been the least resistance. He followed that. He doesn't need to invent the wheel again. Wheel is already there. You need to just get on the wheel, right? With the full trust. And then he charted that path. He came back from California within a week, not even within a fortnight, within a week, he got the job in Air India Express. He flew there. Now today he's a 777 commander. He said, "Uncle, thank you." Right? So that is the kind of strategic planning we are talking about. I'm not going to divulge that one on a public platform here, but once anybody want to come to us, we'll guide them, provided they are serious enough. It's not that they have the loads of money, they want to do the flying. No, we want the candidate who are serious enough, who loves flying, who loves aviation, who loves to be a free bird. We will guide them accordingly. That is what we want. We are not here to making money on you, but we are here to help you to achieve your dreams, and rest is all, everything falls in place. Thank you, Kshiteej. Over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was really inspiring, and one of you or all of you here, if I would say, would want to take the noble experience from Captain Gondane here and make a name for yourself, as as one of his students and one of our students are also doing. We will take a few more questions. We will now, let me see the hands now. Where are the hands? Okay. Ashwini, can you hear us? You can go ahead. We will now, let me see the hands now. Where are the hands? Okay. Ashwini, can you hear us? You can go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a couple of questions. I asked them together only. First of all, sir, most people don't complete their training in 200 hours. They require extra hours because of some or the other factor that might be difficult for someone to grasp. What happens in that scenario? And secondly, USAS, the fleet and everything details, if we can get.
Captain Brishpal, you would want to take that?
Let's see. I'm waiting on Mr. Brishpal. I could help you out with the hours. I mean, like, see, it does happen. Some students are not able to cope up with that certain limited hour because everyone is not equal. We have to treat every student as an individual. So if a student is able to complete an hour before that, which is fantastic.
So if a student is able to complete an hour before that, which is fantastic.
Sir, my point of asking the question was because generally, if you go to see other flying schools in the US, they show 250 hours, 240 hours of training is required for DGCA. So how does that work then?
Right.
Is that false advertisement or how does that work?
Well, it's not a false advertisement. It is. Hold on, Mr. Brishpal is here. He'll be able to answer that question very well because he works in DGCA.
Hold on, Mr. Brishpal is here. He'll be able to answer that question very well.
This is a question from Ashwani Mittal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a question from Ashwani Mittal. 250 hours.
Yes.
That is correct. In the past, now everything according to US standards, and in India also, Capt.Kshiteej would also know that it is 200 hours. The schools which you are seeing 250 hours of DGCA requirement, they have not updated their websites or they are closed. One of the school is showing in Florida. Probably you might have gone through that, and it is their website is showing 250 hours till now. We will put all your requirements according to DGCA, which is 200 hours of total flying. It might increase by 5 or 7 hours depending on candidates or additional check rides, something like that. If a person cannot get his check ride clear in first attempt, then he has to go through 3 hours of correctional flying with the instructor who has trained him, and then another check ride.
Right.
Am I clear?
Yes, sir. So, and the second question just attached to this was, if you could help with the fleet.
Answer regarding
yes,
the.
Sir. So, and the second question, yeah, what is the fleet size he is asking, sir?
We have 5 aircrafts at this point of time. We have a Cessna 152, 2 172s, 1 Piper Arrow, and a Piper Seneca. And as the batches are coming, probably 10 of the guys, Capt.Kshiteej, probably in the first batch.
Yes, sir. 9 to 10 will be sent in the first batch. When they finish, the second batch goes.
Right. So one aircraft can fly here in America for at least 18 hours a day. So initial training would be like 1 hour in one go, and then you can have 1 more hour in one go. Because in the ab initio flying, we don't want to overload you, because it is more important to understand what you're doing than filling up your bag with hours. Am I right? Am I clear?
Correct, sir. All right. So, yes, so we would hope that Ashwini's
Yes, sir.
queries are resolved. We would now go to let us see a new faces. Vinisha, if you could just unmute yourself and ask your questions.
My question is, what will be the scenario of aviation industry after 2 years? Will there be jobs coming up?
Okay. Let me just take the first part, and Captain Gondane, you could help me with this question as well. The student, I mean. See, nobody thought that a small airline like TrueJet. Have you heard of TrueJet?
Yes.
Do you know the fleet size of TrueJet presently?
No, I don't know that.
It started with one aircraft or two aircrafts, and they operated these two aircrafts for at least 2 to 3 years. And when I check now, they are close to now a double-figure airliner. And just 2 days back, if you check, they are the first Indian airline to send an order of 50 Airbus 220s, 50 aircrafts in one go. There is one more airline which has come up. This is all in the pandemic period, I'm telling you. Let me not give you any backdated figures. This is within 6 months.
Sir, 175 Embraer 175s too.
Yeah, 175 Embraers as well. New airline Flybig has started. Jet Airways is positive. Air India will be taking a few more in a few months. Indigo, there is a constant addition of aircraft. SpiceJet has taken up most of the aircraft from Jet Airways. So when you know that there is a pandemic situation at hand here, and the most affected, I would say, is the aviation sector. Why are these airlines growing? I mean, you think it of yourself that you are the owner of an airline. You know that if there is no future, why am I investing so much? If you are the owner, you would of course have a foresight of a foresight study and everything done to understand. Okay, there is going to be so much of influx of passengers in the future, and for that I need to be ready. So I need to buy these aircrafts. If you take a look at the Ministry of Civil Aviation's reports and even the IATA's global forecast statistics, India will be the third largest aircraft. What do you say? They are the third in the world for domestic passengers, but internationally it will grow up to the third rank by in a matter of 5 years only. In fact, so it's a rapidly growing sector, and you need pilots. As I was earlier saying, that as many smaller airports are coming up or mushrooming up, you need pilots to fly to these areas, and a pilot can only fly a certain number of hours. He cannot fly the entire day. He can fly only a certain number of landings and a certain number of hours, which is called a flight duty time limit, basically. So for the pilot not to exceed that and for the plane to still be flying, you will need to add on more pilots. So that is what we see. And let me also give you one example. I'll give you only COVID period example. In 2020, from the period of July 2020 till January 2020, in this 6 to 7 months, there were 4 vacancies which came up in the lockdown period in India. You had BSF, you had Air India Alliance come up with 30 vacancies, 15 or 25 vacancies, I don't remember. You have Flybig vacancies, SpiceJet, Indigo, at least, in fact, 5 vacancies. 5 different airlines coming up with vacancies in the COVID period. So you could imagine these big companies must be having a very highly paid analyst and all these researchers who would be giving them a certain amount of market idea, right? So you could always trust. I always trust the India story. If you trust the India story, you would always believe that this country is going to grow, and aviation is one of the flag bearers to its growth. In fact, which you could see it with the examples. Captain Gondane, if you could also add on.
Yeah, I could see here one Mr. Intranil Yadna Shetty. Can you hear me, Mr. Shetty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I have got a great respect for Mr. The Shetty's clan. I tell you why. Because I feel all Shettys, they are the great risk takers. They're one of the great risk takers in the world, the Shetty's clan. And to equate that one, because we have so many restaurants in Mumbai, which is run by Shettys, because they sight an opportunity and they pounce on it at the right time. That is their USP. And so coming back to Vinisha, Vinisha could you please in 2 minutes or 1 minute, you can tell me your background. I can answer your question in a better fashion.
Actually, I'm in 12th right now. I will give my boards in 2-3 months. So after that, I'm thinking of applying for the exams and medicals. Then after the flying.
Okay, great. And can you tell me what stops you to start an airline?
And because of the cost, it's huge investment for my father. So that's why.
Okay, if the investment is not a factor, can you start your own airline?
Own airline not. I want to become a pilot.
Yeah. And you become a pilot and you want to start an airline, can you do it?
No, I cannot.
No, or you just want to become a pilot?
I just want to become a pilot.
Great. Okay. So that sorts out the things once you are clear, like what you want to become in life, that you just want to become a pilot and you want to enjoy life. Nobody can stop you once you are clear in your goals, right? So once you are absolutely determined that you want to achieve something in your life, nobody can stop you. This is the writing on the wall. It's writing on the stone wall. Nobody can stop you. Once you decide what you want to become, what timeline you have, everything will fall in place. Whether you are getting up 11 o'clock in the morning, you'll start getting up 4 o'clock in the morning. Once you decide what you want to become in your life, that is for sure. So my advice is, like, if you determine to become a pilot and you are passionate about it, because the pilot's life is not like getting just a degree of BA, BSc, BCom, BA or BBM or the MBA or the PhD. It doesn't stop it there. It's a lifelong learning. You have to undergo the 6 exams or the 10 exams every year to keep yourself current, to become a proficient as a pilot, as a professional pilot, because you are shouldering not only your own life responsibility, but you are shouldering the 400, 500 passenger you are flying behind you. Not only that 400, 500 passenger, multiply them with the four people on that one, like that becomes like 200 lives, and then you multiply it with the cost of insurance. It becomes like maybe 1,000 crore, 2,000 crore. So the pilot's life is like the whole loaded with a lot of responsibilities. So if you are ready to work with that responsibility, you got that metal, yes, you are most welcome into this field, because that challenges you, that trigger your adrenal thing and makes you happy and makes you fulfill in your life. Yes, most welcome to this world of flying. It is not meant for the chicken-hearted people. It is for the people who want to take the responsibilities, who want to be disciplined, who are very clear in the goal. This aviation gives you the life. This aviation gives you life. It's a choice of life. You have 10 different things in the world to do it. But if you choose an aviation, it's exciting, it's a more fulfilling, it's more challenging. You will feel that your life is done when you leave this planet, that yes, I've done something great in my life. And it is so, and we got so fantastic mentors on this planet, like and you'll be thankful to not only yourself and maybe to us also. Right? So that would be my answer to your question. Like, yes, you can go ahead. The life, the future is fantastic. Nothing is stagnant in life. Nothing is stagnant in life. All the airlines will be closed by this time. If they are pessimistic, there is no future. So there is a future. If anything is an indication, look at the stock prices over all the shares on the airlines. They are going up, right? So that is the first indication, without you asking anybody whether there is a future or not. They are the first indication. People are buying the shares of the companies. That is the first indication. You don't need to even do any studies. The price indication on the share market will tell you, yes, this industry is going to grow. Yeah.
Right, sir.
So that would be my answer. Thank you.
Right. So there's one interesting question here, that do you have any program in which I can become a flight instructor with the academy? Captain Brishpal, you want to take this?
Yes, go ahead. One more time.
Yeah, so the question is from Shantanu here. He says, do you have any program in which you can become a flight instructor in the academy?
Of course, yes. Okay. Once you complete your commercial pilot license with us, in addition to the 200 hours, you might have to go through 10-15 more hours of training and an oral exam and a written exam, and then you can be a instructor. We can let you work with us for a certain amount of time so that you can build up your hours. You cannot actually work in America without a work permit, but in the school you are doing your training, and if you want to be there, if we allow you with the permission of the government, yes, you can do that. Does that answer your question, Shanu?
And sir, which visa will you provide, F1 or M1 visa?
No, we will be giving you M1 visa.
Okay. And what will be the exact cost, or it will be only $41,000?
That is the cost for the commercial pilot training.
License.
Boarding and transportation and ground school and other supplies. But for the instructor course, I would suggest like another $3,000, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Okay. So we.
Sir,
will
can
take
I ask
one
next
more-
question?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Sir, how much time it takes to convert the license from FAA to DGCA?
Let me answer this.
Yes, please go ahead.
We had been talking about this since we started this meeting today. So basically, if you finish all your requirements for conversion of license from FAA to DGCA,
yes,
all you have to do is fly 10 more hours in India, give a day-night check. On the aircraft, you get the commercial pilot license, and say 172. Give your day-night check on that, do a 250 nautical mile cross country, and you can submit your papers. Probably 10 days at the most is required in India if you have cleared all your exams before you come here, including RTR.
Correct.
Is that
okay? Sir, wanted to ask that what are the requirements for conversion?
Capt.Kshiteej?
Yeah, so the requirements for your conversion is a CPL, firstly, from FAA. And you need to complete your DGCA papers, all the the papers required, MET, regs, and navigation with your RTR. And along with that, the FAA certificates and the conversion papers from India of the 10 hours, which Captain Brishpal just wrote. With all these papers combined, then you go to the DGC and submit your papers, and in the least possible time, you would get your license converted to Indian CPL license.
Sir, and how much it costs for converting the license?
See, the conversion cost for this 10 hours now mostly what's happening is most of the flying schools in India, they are offering you packages. So they are not charging you as per hourly rate. They are giving you an entire package. Okay, in so many so much cost, we will complete all your training, your paperwork and everything. In fact,
okay.
So all that would depend at the time when you finish. Because I'll tell you one example. One student from Indian Flying School, he enrolled last year. His cost was given to him 27 lakhs. Okay. 1 year of COVID period shut down. Okay, he firstly he paid his fees because of COVID. It got shut down, and now when they started, they have revised the fees to 37 lakhs. Without with no what do you say fault of the student himself. So and now his money is stuck with the flying school, and he cannot take it back. And he was calling us that how he could after finishing a few hours here he could come back. So the number of hours and the cost involved would change, depending on what time you come back here. But for us, we could tell you that for the time, for the period now, when you would join us, the cost will remain 41,500 for the flying training with us. We cannot guarantee for the flying cost for the Indian flying schools. Additionally, so one question to this that this candidate, he wanted to join us. So I advised him that one minute, all of you. So can a person holding a Indian PPL come to the US, convert it to US PPL and continue his remaining number of hours? Suppose he does 50 hours here. Can he add up those? Can he use those 50 hours and then add up the hours in the US?
Yes.
For this 50 hours?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me answer this question. Whatever flying you have done from India, from any school, it should be in your logbook, registered, and duly signed and stamped by the school authorities. So it can be counted. Any number of hours can be counted to come to US. You fly from anywhere in the world, US does appreciate whatever you have in your logbook. So they will be counted towards your final finishing of commercial pilot license. Is that clear?
So he doesn't need to have a PPL with the Indian DGCA. Does he need to file for a DGCA?
No. All you have to do is your logbook should be duly signed and stamped by the school authorities.
All right. Okay.
Sir, can I ask
all
my
right.
question, please?
Yes, go ahead, Shyam.
Yes, actually, first I got a couple of questions. The first question is, will this pandemic be any problem to go abroad and even to come Delhi?
I didn't get that.
So his question is that this pandemic period, when can we expect that the flying could start there? Is that the question, right? Sham?
Yes, will it be any problem, sir? Like we can expect for more than 1 year this pandemic to go on. So will it be any problem to come America?
No, I don't really know about the government, how they will react to it. But at present, there is a travel ban already on any of the people coming from outside. And
to come Delhi, sir?
So again?
When will next batch start, sir, for ground studies? At least we can study and complete our DGC exams.
Okay, I can help you in that, sir. Can I go take this question?
Good.
Okay, good question there. So all of these students who, as we have told that everywhere in the world there is a travel restriction, and very few places the flying is going on, and in the US there is a complete lockdown on the flying, at least for international students. So what I advise the students is take this time. The DGCA exams are happening. They are happening as we speak. In fact, we have an exam coming up in the first or second week of May now. They have a timetable laid down. So I have advised my students in last year as well, when COVID period started, that you enroll with us, get your training done, finish your DGCA papers. The exams are happening. Finish your DGCA papers and be ready. Use this time. So our next batch is happening on the 25th of April. We are starting on the 25th of April with an aviation and meteorology class with myself and Captain Daniel, who would be leading the course. So you could get in touch with us for the admissions, and we will, of course, we will guide you the best possible way. Yes. Sham
Yes,
Parekh,
sir, will it be offline or online, sir?
let us decide. For
Your
now, it
classes.
is online. For now, it is online because we are based in Mumbai, and it is the worst hit places in India, in fact, for the COVID. And I don't want to risk anybody with their health and everything. Even you have elderly at your homes. So the best possible thing is, and in fact, let me also tell you that we were India's first online class. In fact, we started 3 years back. This is way before COVID, and it was as an experiment because a few of my students they passed, and their friends they wanted to join. So few referrals came to me. So I thought let us start, because these two very young girls, they could not travel down to Mumbai. They were from Delhi. So we thought let us start the course then. And in fact, let me tell you that our online class results were better than our offline class. In fact, the students who appeared online had a better passed in their first attempts and could clear their papers easily than the ones in the offline, because a lot of restriction as in travel time involved, and the hours of teaching had to be curtailed because of the travel time and everything. So it would be online presently, but as situation improves, we will be taking the offline classes.
Okay, can
And
I say
1 minute here?
1 minute here?
Yes.
Anybody of the audience know the fees in Delhi about the 3 subjects course of the ground classes?
yes, it takes around for meteorology 30K, for air navigation it's around 50K, and for technical specific it's more than 2 lakhs, we can say, all 6 subjects.
Let me just
For the
update
3
you the
subjects. For the
figures.
3 subjects, it's 2 lakhs, and for the highest one, which is the most sought after, is about 1 lakh per subject, like 3 lakhs for 3 subjects. Here, Capt.Kshiteej is offering you for 1.5 lakhs, all not only 3 subjects, it's a 6 subjects.
Correct, including this includes RTR.
Yeah, you can just see, and you can just see the passing rate. So obviously, you have a choice to make here.
In fact, sir, the funny thing is that we have students from these big names. After they pay there, could not pass their papers, they come down to us. And then they pass it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is the funny part.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yes. Who else wants to ask the question? Can please go ahead. We could take a few questions from the chat.
Yes. So for conversion of CPL in India, we should go to a flying club situated in India. So which flying club do you prefer, sir? Which flying club will you take us?
Is Captain Brishpal?
Can I answer this question?
Please go ahead, sir.
It all depends which state you come from. You can fly in any flying school which is close to you, or if you want us to help you out with that, we will, and we'll get it done as soon as possible. So let's hope for the best, and you get your license first, and then from there we can go. Is that clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, 35 years back, Captain Brishpal was the chief flying instructor in India before he moved to Canada. So don't worry about that, how the things can get streamlined.
Right. Yes, few more questions. Let us have a few more questions. Yes, see you again. Captain, can you hear me, Captain Gondane? Am I audible to you?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, let us have a few more questions here. Saurabh, Bhosle,
Yes, sir.
please go ahead with the question.
Sir, what is criteria to get in flying school?
Okay. Captain Brishpal.
Okay, to get into our flying school would be, you will be requiring to send us the copy of your passport, of your father's passport, letter of sponsorship from your father or uncle or whoever is sponsoring you, 6 months of bank statement, your medical, date of birth certificate, and last but not the least, you need to fill up a form, and then go from there. But mostly you should be in touch with Capt.Kshiteej, and he will also guide you through as he's there. And I would suggest everybody who is listening that they should clear all their DGCA papers if they want to not to waste their time once they are in India. Because there is a requirement, there used to be a requirement of 10 hours in preceding 6 months, like last 6 months when you submit your papers to DGCA for issue of license. But now they have increased it to 15 hours, out of which the 5 hours would be instrument flying and 10 hours would be day and night check. So that 15 hours would be gone before you submit your paper if you are wasting your time in India. If it takes more than 6 months, you have to apply 15 hours as fresh. But once you have cleared all your DGC exams, we will take you to a flying school in Haryana or Punjab or of your choice, where you can fly those 10-15 hours and submit your paper. Is that
Correct.
clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, one more question.
But
Tell me.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead,
go
please.
ahead.
Sir, what should be my 12th percentage for getting admission?
Capt.Kshiteej, you want me to answer
Yeah.
this or you?
So you go ahead. If go ahead, sir, with the answer.
Requirement is 10+2 science, which is physics and maths, and there is no percentage. You should be able to pass that, and that's it. There is no criteria of percentage of marks required.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Welcome.
So the the basic answer is that there is no percentage for a reason that this is a professional course. Okay, your percentage and everything will not matter in a professional course. In fact, you will be getting a license and not a degree when you go and finish your flying as is and get your CPL. Yes. So a few more hands here. Chaitanya, please go ahead with your question. Chaitanya, please go ahead with your question. Okay, Chaitanya not there. So let us call Pon Hariharan. Hariharan.
Chaitanya is there.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, Chaitanya, go ahead.
Sir, Indian DGCA exam certificate filed in US only.
Say again.
Indian DGCA exams are filed in USA only.
No, I got him.
Yeah.
Okay. We in USA, the validation of your DGCA exams is not required. One.
Okay, sir.
You have to come here to US and you have to study here with us. Of course, the same subjects, but you have to give one exam, a written exam for your private pilot license, one written exam for your instrument rating, and one written exam for your commercial pilot license will be held here in America to get you your CPL in with the FAA. That makes you clear?
Sir?
Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah. If the DGCA exams validation would be required when you get your FAA license and then you go to India to convert it. That's where you need it.
Okay, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, let us take a few more here. Hariharan, can you hear us? Please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Okay, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Hariharan, you have a question? Please go ahead with your question.
That was Hariharan earlier.
I see. Okay. That is Hariharan. Okay. All right. So, any other questions that we have before we move to the waiting list? The chat box here, where one question that we have already answered, that no percentage required, or even the airline vacancies that you have, they will look at your currency of the license and your skill sets would be assessed in the sim test, your interviews, and all the 7 phases of selection, the airline selection process. So that should answer your question. Yes, please go ahead.
Excuse me, sir.
Please
Sir, please tell us something about type rating also.
Okay, can I take this, sir?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I would advise, in present day situation, it would be unwise to tell you go for type rating here and go for type rating there. Okay, the best part would be to finish your CPL first, but be prepared for the cost of type rating. Because, same period, 2 years back, if I would tell you that go for 320 type rating, and it takes you around 17, 18 or 2 years to complete your CPL, but after 2 years, the great demand is for ATR, then what do you do? Understanding? So best thing to do is be prepared with the finances for type rating, but only decide which
Sir,
aircraft. Do
how
you want
much
a
does it
320?
cost?
Yeah, let me just finish. So what aircraft you want will be taken care of. You should decide only when you finish your CPL. Okay, how much does it cost? I can tell you the range of that cost. 320s mostly they start from 12 lakhs and it goes up to right up to 21 lakhs. This is Airbus 320. And the ATR aircraft, the smaller aircraft, 70-seater aircraft that we have. So the type rating of that aircraft is a little costly because there are not many simulator centers which have these type. So the cost of ATR is starts from 17 lakhs, again goes up to 21 lakhs. Yes. Yes, Sankalp,
Okay,
can you
sir.
hear me?
See, there's
Yes,
one question
Sankalpa.
from Chaitanya. I am currently in the last year of graduation, confused to take a route between the flying training and flying training after graduation or after post-graduation. Can you guide me through it? What would be the best choice and what differences it can make to be my best in the field of? Chaitanya, are you there?
Chaitanya, can you hear us? Okay, so I think he is there. We could go ahead with the answer.
Let me hear from him.
Chaitanya, are you there?
No, I don't think he's there. So let's not discuss this issue. You can go ahead
Okay.
with another.
Okay, when can we
Sir,
begin
actually,
the? Yes, Ghazal, go
Sir,
ahead.
actually, I wanted to ask one more thing. That the type rating will be done in abroad or in India, means in USA or in India?
See, mostly the cost for type rating in India is a little expensive. Like, let's say there are two centers in India which does type rating. One is CTE, which is for Air India's internal training, and one is FHTC in I think Gurgaon. Both of their training costs are very expensive. Okay. I mean, for a A320 in Air India and in FHTC, it would normally take you around 20, more than 20 lakhs, in fact. But if you do the same type rating abroad, all inclusive, except your flight tickets, it would cost you starting from 12 to 13 lakhs onwards, includes your accommodation and also food, in fact, in some schools. So 320 starts at 12 lakhs and ATR is a little expensive, as I told. It starts at 17 lakhs onwards. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And sir, what about 737?
737 and 320 are the same cost, but not many people go for 737 because the vacancies for 737 have reduced a little after Jet Airways. Because most of the aircrafts we had was in Jet Airways. But since A320, ATR, they have come, and Indigo being the largest aircraft carrier for this particular type, we have vacancies on 320 and ATRs now mostly. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Let me highlight some of the new internal things in this process. Who asked this question?
Sir, please, can you tell me about loan process, sir?
No, no.
Like
We'll do that
which
one,
bank
but
shall
I'll
we
talk
prefer?
about the type rating. We
Okay,
are
hold on.
talking
Ghazal,
about type rating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's me.
Yeah, Ghazal. Right. Okay, Ghazal. The type rating thing is like it's looks simple, but like you need to know where you are going to do it. I had a student who used to come to me for doing the 777 training. I used to do it. I mean, I used to train him at my home. But to tell you, like he had done the type rating at Istanbul. Right, he spent around 18 lakh rupees on the 777 type rating. Now, when he come back, like they are the very finer points, like what airline needs you to perform as your SOP, and what those people they train you as an SOP, which was totally different, which was mismatched. So before you go for any type rating, you need to know, like what SOP you are going to follow, what are the things you need to do, and it is best to spend 1 or 2 lakh rupees here in India before even you go for the type rating abroad, because there you can get your type rating in 45 days. But and you pay there like anything between 14 lakhs to 18 lakhs, but you may not learn the finer points of the stuff when you come back. And when you need to perform for the airline simulator check, you may not perform and they may fail you. So your objectives are not achieved. So it is better to do your homework to know where you want to go type rating, where you can do training beforehand, do all your ground training or CBT is what we call the computer based training on that aircraft. And then when you actually go abroad and do that 45 days training of the type rating, you are more proficient. And then when you come back, you crack the simulator exam just like back of your palm. So that is very, very important. And that is what we are also going to do that one before we recommend you to go abroad to do the type rating. You do the ground training and the CBT kind of training here, and we make you understand here everything, and then only you can go abroad and do it. So it is worthwhile to spend 1 or 2 lakh rupees here to do your ground training here and the CBT training here and the flying training and the procedures training here, what they are going to do in the simulator. So when you go abroad, you are not losing anything. You are not lost. Like you are not having a sleepless night. Oh my God, I'm going to spend 18 lakh rupees, and if the instructor fails me here, I am good for nothing. So that is a very, very calculated risk. And that is what I recommend, that you must know what you are going to do, what aircraft type rating you are going to do. So you do the ground training here in India, spend less amount of money and you gain more. So that is a very,
Right.
very finer point of the type rating.
Right. So if I can also add in this, sir, that Ghazal, for your information, see, that is what we told in the beginning, that we are not here just for your theory training and your flight training. There is a more to it. There's, your training means entire grooming. So when I tell you, once you finish your CPL, we will still be in touch and we will be advising you at that period of time. Let's say 1 year, 2 years, we don't know. The world is changing very rapidly. Let's say Airbus 220, it comes in India and suddenly it replaces ATR. Who knows? It's a 70 seater. This is somewhere around 120, 130 seater, somewhere like that. We don't know that. So it is best advised that once you are with us, we will be mentoring you throughout your career, even after you become pilots, co-pilots, even commanders, and even after that. We are here to advise you, and we don't charge you anything for that. We will give you the best advice, and all our students are still in contact with us, and we maintain that friendly relationship with them. So that this is not that 2 years early I tell you, okay, you should decide for ATR, and after 2 years period, when the time comes for your ATR rating, suddenly you see, okay, ATR type rating is no more required. Just like A320 was at one point a very fast selling hot cake that we call. Everybody wanted a ATR A320 pilot, and everybody was getting a A320 type rating. But now all the airlines, they want ATR pilots, which they are not finding in the market, in fact. So the best advice will be, you stay with us, and once you complete your CPL, we will give you the best advice what you should be type rating. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Shantanu sir, he asked, what will be the cost without accommodation and transportation? Brishpal sir, you want to take this?
My answer to this question would be that why we are putting everybody in one place? Because of the shuttle service, and because we can keep an eye on them, because we can give them maximum safety and security. So I would suggest that any person who's coming should be in the facility where we let them live, unless they have any other relation in the same town. That's okay. Because first of all, the very first condition, Captain Shri, we talked was that I don't want anybody to come here and start working outside. That's a total no-no. You know what I'm saying? people try to look for shortcuts, it is not going to happen because we need you 24/7 anyway.
Right.
So once you stay with us, you start flying. In 3-4 months, you decide like, okay, I can spend $1,000 a month to get a bedroom apartment, or $700 a month at least minimum to get an apartment, whereas we are charging only like $400 per student per month. So you can, if you decide, the first 3 months, I would surely want everybody to live in one place, go for the classes at the same time, and then if you think you can afford a better accommodation or a better place to live in, that's fine. Our training, once it is complete, I would totally make it sure that you guys board the plane and go back to India, unless you are enrolling yourself into an instructor course.
Okay, so one more answer to this is that we are not making any money out of the accommodation that we are providing you. Okay,
right.
Basically these are the apartments that we have leased out at the best possible rate, so that it comes as a lesser burden to the students. And if you go and check, even if you go online and check the rates of the apartments in that particular town, you would notice that, as Captain Brishpal told, you would not get anything less than $700 to $800, and then comes your water, electricity, internet, and everything else added up to that cost, plus your transportation. So we have tried to reduce everything by making sure that all of you live in one place, so that the shuttle service is available for all of you, your safety is managed, and security is maintained. Yes. Yes, so one more last question. We will take a few more questions before we wrap up, and let us. We will leave our telephone numbers on the chat box here, and we would be happy that if you would call back and let us speak more about the admission processes. One question: if someone knees are touching together, like there is no gap between both knees, so is it fit or not to become a pilot? So very interesting question. If someone knees are touching, okay, Sham, can you hear us? If you could just speak out that question, it will be more clear. Sham, can you hear us? Sham, can you hear us? He's here. Yes,
sir.
Go ahead
I
with
can
your
hear
question.
you.
Yeah, just speak
Sir,
out your question now clearly.
So my question in related to medical, if someone knee are touching together, like there is no gap between that, so is it fit or not to become a pilot? That's my question.
Can I answer this?
Please go ahead, sir.
The better would be go in for a class 2 medical with the approved dgca doctor, and they would either medically declare you fit or not. But to me, this is called knock knees. And if it is beyond the limits, it would be considered medically not fit. But if it is slightly, or it does not hamper your operation, or because you will have to be using both your hands, both your legs, all your fingers, toes, nail, everything. So the better judge would be a medical professional on that part. Is that right?
Right, sir. And to add into this, there is something called a cockpit test, which a class 2 examiner will do, once you go to him. So a few more questions like, if I'm short, then what happens? Even if you're short, there is, I mean, at least as far as what I have read, there is no criteria as per what DGCA has said, what's your height limit. Okay. So for that, what you do is you go to the medical examiner, he will perform a cockpit test with you. As long as your hands and feet, they touch up to your full length flexion towards your yoke, and full flexion of your rudders are achieved, you're good to go and carry on as a pilot. But again, like Captain Brishpal told, the last word would be the word of a medical doctor, a certified medical doctor of DGCA.
Yeah, Sham, let me add on to this one. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, actually, my elder daughter, who is now become a lawyer, she had the knock knees. She. So I had this first-hand experience of this. Like, it can be traumatized as a parent, like when the child is having the knock knees. So I took her to the orthopedic surgeon when she was very young. Okay, and that was in Mumbai, and uh, he is so great. Like, he suggested her some special kind of shoes and other things, and she could get rid of it. Like, now she's been normal. Like, but it has to be done at an early age, I believe. But you can still explore through the medical specialist, especially the orthopedic surgeon, with whether if you are really interested in aviation, and if there is a way, you can still find it out. You can go to the best orthopedic surgeon or the aviation medicine specialist and find it out from them. If there is a solution with the knock knees to get all right, and then you get into the flying, yes, you can do that. Otherwise, as Captain Brishpal and Captain Kshiteej said, it's a detrimental factor in aviation, that you cannot be in aviation with those kind of knock knees, because that is endangering not only your life but the life of hundreds of people behind you. So I would say, don't, if you are really interested, go to the orthopedic surgeon, find it out a way whether you can get it corrected, or go to the aviation medicine specialist, tell him that yes, I'm really interested in aviation, I'm passionate about it, I'm crazy about it, I'm mad about it, and can you help me out? If there is a way, he can help you out, looking at your only passion. That's it.
Correct, sir. And it takes you only one day to reach out to the doctor and to know if you are fit or unfit. The process is, if you're from Mumbai, I could tell you, and a few other doctors in other cities, I'll give you a phone number, call him up, take an appointment. At least for the doctor in Mumbai, he gives you an appointment the very next day. You go to him, he'll give you a certain test that he would want you to carry out, and bring the reports to him. And then that's it. You take the reports, and then he will examine your physicalities and everything, and he will declare you then and there, okay, you should pursue or you should not pursue. So it is as simple as that. The first thing what I tell the students approaching me is, first go to the doctor, get yourself a certificate, and then you come back to me, and then we can proceed. Let us not waste anybody's money. I mean, it's a lot of money that would be involved. So moving to one further question, that sir, can we know about the loan process, which all banks will be preferred for that particular purpose? So if I
Sir,
can answer
also
that.
about the scholarships, if any.
Okay, I'll just tell you that one. Okay, so regarding the bank loans, I know of SBI, State Bank of India. They provide education loan over this, and a few other nationalized banks that you could approach to. First, approach your own bank, the home bank that your parents operate. Ask directly the branch manager. Ask them how they could help you. And for any paperwork that's required from the flying school regarding your admission and everything, that we are here to help you out with the paperwork there. So bank loans are available, education loans you get, and some banks, they offer you loan against collateral as well. Yeah. Yeah, okay, the scholarship part. So Ghazal, you have seen in our advertisement that we are offering scholarship. So the scholarship, it goes like this, that the course fee for the ground schooling is 1.5 lakhs. And we want to encourage our students to clear their papers in the very first attempt. So we have this offer at hand, that whoever clears their paper in the very first attempt, we would be, or I would be paying them 25,000 rupees upfront, as a return of their tuition fee. Because this is, you say it a scholarship, I say it an encouraging attempt, so that the student clears his papers as early as possible. So you clear your papers in the very first attempt, your matrix and all your technical and your RTR in the first attempt, and I'll pay you 25,000 upfront after you clear them. So that's the scholarship that we have. Yes.
Maybe one question.
Does that answer your?
Sir,
Does that answer
are
your
there any other scholarships, especially for aviation sector?
Okay, so there is one scholarship for the scheduled caste candidates with Government
No,
of
sir,
India.
for general category. For general category.
I'm sorry. For general category, there isn't, but I'll just brief the other students who were asking for scholarships. So for scheduled caste students who have their certificates, who have legal certificates, also the other criteria is from all the sources in their house. If their income is less than 6 lakhs, they are eligible for this scholarship. So for the first thing that you do is you first get an admission in the flying school. But the part here is, for to get an admission in a flying school, you have to pay a certain amount of hours for a certain number of hours. So now let's say you pay for 50 hours, and then you apply to the scholarship, the office of the scholarship, saying that, okay, I have been admitted into this flying school. Here is the quotation of the entire fee structure, and then they will assess your papers and everything. And if you are found suitable, then they will award you a scholarship. But if you are not found suitable, then you have to pay on your own. And if suppose if you are paid for the 50 hours, example, if you're paid 50 hours and your scholarship is approved, government will pay you or refund you the amount which you had paid to the flying school earlier, along with the the additional amount to complete your CPL. Yes. Mr. Sachin Madhavi is here. He is the father of one of our students, sir. So, sir, if you could unmute and if you could tell us, or if you have any queries, you could ask us any questions. Mr. Sachin, can you hear me? Mr. Sachin Madhavi, can you hear me?
Okay, there is a one message from Indranil Shetty. Can we take that?
Yes, so good, sir.
Okay, so it says, sir, you quoted the price of 41,500 USD, but which aircraft will it be for? How do you manage to keep the cost of flying training so less? I did my research and found that majority of flying schools in Florida cost 44,000 USD or more just for flying training on Cessna 152 and Piper Seneca. Indranil,
Just
can you
1 minute,
hear
sir.
me?
I'll just mute.
Indranil, can you hear me?
Indranil, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
great.
sir.
I admire your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your question is great, actually, and I would say that is the USP of all Shetties.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you know why? Because you have a great comparative analysis. Like, okay, if why the cost is less and for what? What is the USP? What is the background? See, if I'm a Shetty, I'm selling say 1 million idlis for the cost of 10 cents. What is my USP? I'm still making $1 million. What is my USP, right? There has to be something unique in me and my process, right? That is what is the answer of your question. What is the difference between 41,500 USD, including all cost, and $44,000 in USD in only for the flying training? That talks a lot. That is our USP. That is the USP between the Captain Brishpal, between me and Capt.Kshiteej. These are secrets, right, between us, and this is going to happen. And this is what we have designed for, to help you out, not only cost, but the pilot you are going to become, right? And that is not only give us a great satisfaction, but it's going to save you us quite a thousands of bucks, thousands of dollars. That is what we aim at, because it's not only that it's a business venture. Of course, it's a business venture, but it is to help not only you, but everybody. Like, we are here to make a business, but here we are here to help everybody around us. It's a win-win-win situation, right? So that is what, like, that is the difference you'll find between 41,500 USD and 44,000 USD only in the flying training, and the quality of flying training and the discipline we maintain and the people we choose is going to make a difference. We just don't want to make a money at your cost, but we want to produce a great pilots. That is the bottom line.
Right. Thank you, sir. Yes. So if it answers your query, so this is completely doable. In fact, as Captain Shrikan told, we are not making a lot of margins. Like he said, we don't want to make money out of the out of the student who anyway has to spend so much on the flying, and then comes your staying cost and everything around it. So best is that we put all the cost in front of you. This includes this includes this, and this is what it will not include. Okay. And it is completely legal. Let me just assure you this. There is no unethical business going on here. Let me assure you that we all are in the airlines, and for us it will matter a lot if you would be doing anything wrong. Firstly, yes, Captain Brishpal, please go ahead.
What was the basic question, like 44,000 and 41,000? I didn't understand that part.
So I'll just read out the question. So this gentleman, Indraneet, he says, sir, you quoted the price of 41,500 USD, but which aircraft will it be for? And he says, how do you manage to keep the cost of flying training so less? I did my research and found that the cost of flying schools in Florida is around 44,000 USD just for flying training on Cessna 152, 172. Accommodation, the rest is separate.
Exactly. See, probably we are the lowest charging people in the total United States schools. We are here, as both the captains mentioned, that we are not making a lot of money. That's not true. We are trying to put as less overheads as possible, and also as less rent as possible of the building and of the hangars, of the aircraft, because we have bought our aircraft all outright. We don't have any loans on it unless we add more aircrafts to it. Number two, we are here to establish a business between US and India. And in the mean, when you go back to India, you are going to send us 4 to 10 more candidates. Or go there, their flying is good, they're cheaper than other flying schools, and they're more reliable and time efficient. That is one of the qualities or best policies we have made, that anybody should come here keeping in mind the hardships of living outside, living say 20 miles away. Even if it is weather permitting, you can fly, but if there is ice on road, it'll take you 2 hours to reach. That is why we have taken the accommodation right next to the airport. Even if the shuttle is not there, you can just walk there. So keeping in mind low cost, more efficient, one-to-one kind of training, that is what we are trying to achieve to establish this business in the first go. Probably down the road, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we will revise our rates, but keeping in mind the Indian pockets and your father and mother's, financial situation and our training cost. If it increases a little bit, we will increase the fees too, but not as much as you just saw 44. 44 is also not too bad. I can quote, there is a school in our facility in Middletown Regional. They are charging 48,000 for single engine commercial. There is one school in Captain Shri might know it, in Denton Regional, US Flight Academy. They are charging 100,000 for a single and multi endorsement.
Right.
There are schools which has now US Flight Academy. They have 15 instructors, 5 supervisors, that is what we are cutting cost. Here I am the supervisor. My partner is, me and him are daddy and uncle of the school. So when you have more people to run the business, you have to charge more to pay them also. Does that answer my question?
Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Right. Yes. So the question is, sir, loan process is applicable to US also? Yes, it is applicable to the US school as well. As long as the bank is satisfied with your paperwork, the finances that you would be showing it to the bank that you're applying. Can we get loan for type rating on the basis of letter of intent by the airline? Yes, a few of the airlines, they are doing that. The vacancies that come for CPL holders without the type rating, once they are selected as junior first officers, the airline sends these selected candidates to the institutes of the choice of the airline. Now, if you go to the school of the choice of the airline, then of course the price is also set by this airline. So mostly Indigo and some other airlines which send, I can talk about Indigo. So they send you to places in Indonesia, even Jakarta, Spain, Madrid. Some places I've heard in even Egypt. I think Sagar can correct me. So the prices, if you go here, go to these,
Yes.
if you go to these places on your own, on your own cost, it will cost you probably a little lesser, like let's say for example 14 lakhs for 320. But when these airlines, they send you directly on their selection, the training cost, one of my friends in Air India, he got selected in Indigo, so he was quoted a price of 25 lakhs for 320 type rating in Singapore, sorry, in Etihad. So 25 lakhs he had to pay because that was when airline selects him. Uh, there are advantages, disadvantages. Disadvantage that you have to pay twice as much as you would have paid it if you had done it on your own. Advantage, there's one advantage that if you are selected by the airline gives you a letter of intent. Now, on this letter of intent, any bank is happy to give you the loan as it can be of any amount. So the letter of intent is what that will hold the value when you go to apply for a loan after your selection. Which airline does? Mostly all of them, they do now. Indigo, Spice, they have been doing since a long time. Even Air India, no, I think Air India sends them to city, right, sir? Air India is sending them to city in Hyderabad, India only. Yes. So I feel, sir, we can wrap this up now. Captain Shrikant, with your permission, you can take the last word. And I would just repeat once before I hand it over to Captain Shrikant. Our ground classes admissions, they begin on the 25th of April. We will be preparing for navigation, RTR, air regulations, air meteorology, technical general and technical specific, all the 6 papers. And the duration is 6 months. The cost for the training is 1.5 lakhs. And after you finish your training, we will be helping you with the medicals as well. To take an appointment with the doctor for your class 2 and class 1. And once you finish that, we will assist you with the paperwork of flying training as well, in fact. So Captain Shrikant, all yours, sir.
Yeah, so the basic strategy is in general, I'm not going to divulge a lot of in-depth details, but initially you'll be doing this CPL ground training, and once you clear that one, then you will come back to me for flying training maneuvers and the specialist maneuver. You will be undergoing actual flying training. That cost will be different for me. I'll decide to which students I'll be taking under my wings, and then only we'll be sending them to the US to get your training as fast as possible. And once you come back, and so your conversion to the DGCA license will be as fast as possible without wasting any more time. So that is the strategy we employed. And once you get in Captain Kshiteej in person, we'll talk to you about the details of it. So thank you very much for joining us, and I wish you all the best and all the success in your life.
Yes, and thank you very much. The details
Sir,
you will
last
find
question.
on the yes.
Sir, when did
Who's,
the offline class started?
please help us with your name.
Offline
Who's
class
this?
start, sir.
Saurabh Chimam. Okay, offline classes we would decide when the situation improves for the the situation improves with the COVID year. But I would encourage you. You start with the online class. It is result oriented. It is not an experiment anymore. We have got better results with the online class, and it is, I feel it is at par with the offline class as well. Yeah, but as and when the situation improves, we will call upon to convert this online class into offline class here in Mumbai. Yes. So we will wait for the situation to
Thank you,
improve.
sir.
We don't want to risk anyone's health at any point of time here. Okay, can we do online if situation that no? Okay. All right. So you'll find the details on the chat about us, and you could contact us. Details. Okay. And sir, then you can wrap it up. Send the details. Send message.
Thank you very much for having us online, and it was a very nice talk. Everyone gave, and hope all goes well, and good luck to you. Sir,
Right, sir.
Shrikan, good night, Kshiteej.
Right, sir.
Yeah,
And
it is nice having you both here, Captain Faizan and Captain
Thank you, sir.
Brishpal, and all aspiring pilots. You can think of getting trained from Captain Faizan and Captain Brishpal, no. So you have seen them, you are familiarized with them, and I am sure you'll have the great training under their wings. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you very much for having us, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us, for sure.
Share that message of the contact. Yes, thank you very much. And Sagar, thank you very much for joining us. And we have left the phone numbers on the chat. We would be hoping that you would call us for any further concern and any further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Just reach
Everybody,
reach
good
out to me
night.
here. Okay. Good night, all of you.